All right, guys, welcome to the channel. I'm not even going to go into a long intro, guys. You know why you're here. You saw the thumbnail. I'm here to talk about Superman, and I'm going to give my thoughts slash review over the film. And here, I'm going to start off with my positives. We'll go positive, negatives, and then my overall thoughts. So I always want to start positive. So let's get into the positive. Does David Cornsweet deliver as Superman? I say yes. But for me, the definitive Superman, and for a lot of people, is Christopher Reeves. Christopher Reeves is our definitive Superman, but David Cornsweet brings a lot of the earnestness and to that role. You know, he brought out the more of the Silver Age. You know, and that's what they were going for in this film, and he does it. Also, something else: the chemistry between him and Rachel Brosnahan. I hope I'm saying that correctly. The actress who played Lois Lane. It was nice. It was very refreshing to see some romance in the film. Because if you lately look at a lot of the superhero movies, and I saw an article and I've seen videos of content creators talk about this, how the uglification and of some of these the women in the roles of in superhero films, like, and in the lovelessness, there's no love there. So it was refreshing to see it in this film, because with Superman, he's a very tough character to write for or create, because I mean, he's invincible, but at the same time you have to show him being vulnerable, because the best characters, superhero, or just not only superhero but heroes wherever, you have to show them vulnerable and show them overcome their vulnerabilities. And they do it very well in this film. They do it in a physical way, and then of course in an emotional, mental way. He has to overcome some of his vulnerabilities and insecurities in this film, and they do a great job on that. I know the actor Dean Cain, who played Superman on the Lois and Clark TV show, he talked about, they made him woke and weak. I didn't see that. I didn't see that in this. I just saw a more balanced individual. I didn't see it that way. So, at least in my opinion, that's not what I saw. Uh Also, no unnecessary origin story in this one. We know, we know, we've seen it countless times. We know the beginning stories of Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman. We don't need to have those rehashed. Everybody knows. And so I liked how this world, everything was established. Everything was established. It was already a lived-in world, and they did such a great job of with the storytelling and the writing that I wasn't left going, well, why is this way? Or how can that? They did a great job with that, and I'm glad we didn't need the unnecessary origin story. They did a great job. Also, the Justice Gang, as they're called in the film, that's Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific, and Hawk Girl. I thought they used them perfectly in the film. We didn't get too much of them to the point where they hijacked and stole the movie from Superman. This is a Superman story. They used them just enough. And so great job there. Also, the film was visually pleasing. We did a tonal change. Excuse me, I can't even get it out. A tonal change from the Zack Snyder verse, where the color tinting with the blues and the desaturation. In this film, we got lots of bright, vivid colors and a lovely looking lived-in world. I enjoyed it. It was aesthetically pleasing, and it got a thumbs up from me. So another performance that was great was Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Now, he plays it very, very good. He's a great foil and a great villain for Superman. I mean, he plays a man with a serious inferiority complex, and with somebody like Lex, that's this genius, to have something like Superman arrive on Earth, a person who could just decide one day to have a bad day and end it all for us, that's something that would shake a guy like that to the core. And so he's made it in the film his life's mission to mess up Superman's world and he does it in a smart and intelligent way. And that's the great thing. You want villains that are smart and intelligent, and you want characters that way that are intelligent, but you definitely want your villain to be intelligent. And like I said, this is a complete 180 from the Jesse Eisenberg version. We all can agree. We all may not agree on who's the definitive Superman, but we can all agree that the Jesse Eisenberg Les Luthor was trash. And this was definitely a step up and an improvement. And they did. I don't want to spoil. I won't spoil the end. I'm not going to spoil the end. But let's just say I can't wait till we get some more Luthor, and I'll leave it at that. Also, the cameos. They did a great job with these cameos. They weren't fan service. They put them in and they made sense. Maybe the last one. I'll say what the last. I won't spoil the last. Well, I'll say what the last one was here in a second. But we had the Peacemaker. He was in there for a minute. He was, like I said, it made sense why he was in there. Rick Flag Sr. His cameo was he was in the film a little bit more than some of these other cameos, but they used him perfectly. And he was there for a reason. It made sense. We also had Bradley Cooper, who played Jor-El, the father of Superman. He was briefly in the film. And we also had Will Reeves, who is the son of Christopher Reeves, who played a reporter. And last but not least, we got our first appearance on screen, at least in this new world, of Supergirl, played by, I think, what's her name? Alia Alcott, who was on Game of Thrones, who played the young Rhaenyra Targaryen. She was in there for a split second. So it'll be interesting to see where they go with her character. She looks like she's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, guys, we got the pros out of the way. Let's go into the cons. And there are very few. The cons are very few. Okay. I know a lot of people aren't going to like this one. They're not going to like this, but damn it. I thought we got way too much crypto. I found the little dog to be quite annoying after a while, but I thought it was a little bit too much crypto to dog. So I think if they would have trimmed the fat off of him a little bit, not had him in there so much, I'd have been cool. But there's kind of a story to that. Like, crypto's kind of based off, I guess Zack Snyder had a dog that he cherished that passed away. So he kind of, he based crypto off his dog. So that's probably why the dog's got a lot of screen time. So yeah, definitely wasn't feeling crypto. Also, there is it killed for me the pace of the film. I believe this was in the first act. There is a scene where Lois is interviewing Clark. They actually showed a bit of a clip of that as like a teaser to the movie. It just went on too long. And I found it to be unnecessary. You probably could have got away with not having that scene. But yeah, it went on way too long. It got to a point where I was like, dang, it's still going on. Like, I thought this scene should be maybe like 2 minutes tops. I think it went on for damn near 10 minutes. It definitely, slowed the pacing down, and not in a good way. But definitely was not a fan of that. All right, so this next con is more of a personal one. Okay, for those of you who may not know, I'm from Kansas. So I don't live in I live more in a city. I live in a city, actual city in Kansas. For those we have several cities in Kansas, but Smallville is kind of a town. And so Ma Kent at the beginning of the film, I don't know what accent that was, but it sounded like she was from Georgia, not Kansas. Like I said, I didn't live in rural Kansas, but I work with a lot of people from rural Kansas that are from there, that were born, raised, and moved into the city, and nobody sounds like that. And it was so funny in the theater, you could just hear everybody groan and like laugh because we're like, nobody sounds like that. I don't know who told her that, but as the movie went on, because she was in the movie later on, it wasn't so I don't know, she wasn't hamming it up like she did in the beginning. So that was more of a personal nitpick. But yeah, outside of that, that's it. I really didn't have, at least I can't think of any, like, okay, so there may be, not for me, But another one, because people are trying to say this movie is it's woke and all this other stuff, which I didn't see it. I don't see it. I didn't see it that way. But there is a subplot of two countries in that universe that in our world would probably be what would be considered the Middle East, and there's a border conflict. Um, and I'll just leave it at that. You can connect the dots. You can put together um you can put together who the two places we're talking about here anyway. But outside of that, I didn't have any real serious cons about the film. I mean, to me, this film kind of seemed like it would have came out in the early 2000s, which that's not a knock on it. We had some of the best superhero movies came out in the early 2000s. So I'm not saying that as a bad thing, but it just seemed like this would be a movie that came out during that time. So just to wrap this up. So what do I think overall? Do I think this is the beginning of the end for James Gunn, or do I think this is the beginning of a new like, because Marvel's on a downturn, so are they gonna ascend to the throne of comic book movies? I won't say that necessarily, but this is definitely in a great direction. We're going in a different direction than what DC is at or where it was going. So I I feel optimistic, very optimistic about this, and just overall with this film is that this Superman, you know, you know, did what Superman's supposed to do. Superman is to inspire us to be better than what we are, and I think Corn Sweat did a great job of bringing that to life on screen. So, just to finish this up, guys, if you're new to the channel, my scoring system is 0 to 5. 0 being trash and 5 being a masterpiece. And what score did I give Superman, guys? I gave this one a solid 3.5 out of 5. So I would tell you, go check it out. You won't be disappointed. This is also a movie you can take the kids to go see. Um, and yeah, that's it, guys. So with that being said, everybody, like I always say, if it's for 1 minute, 5 minutes, or the whole damn video, I appreciate you taking time out of your day to view my content. If you haven't already, go ahead, hit that subscribe, smash the like, and get in the comments and let me know what you thought about Superman, or are you planning to go see it? But like I said, I highly recommend you go check it out. And guys, I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.